like the doors and hatches are closed, we're ready to connect.
Push back. 2095, push through, call connect.
There's all the parts and data X-rays now there. The altimeter 2965.
Hey everybody, welcome aboard. Captain Mike here. Today I'm in Myrtle Beach, and I haven't been to Boston in a while, so we're going to head on up to Boston. I know someone mentioned Hamburg and Gatwick and Brussels might have been the other one, but I've been there within the past month, so. And we are pretty much good to go. We're all buttoned up. Let's get that clock going. And let's release the brake.
American 2042, follow the first company on your right first.
Here comes the pushback. Line them up.
I believe it is. Follow them on a steer, towers 18.5. Okay, we'll follow the bus on the right.
And we're starting number 2.
Cut up about 7 Alpha, 11 Alpha.
642, go back over to ground request, Kilo November. I can't take you in here. That's going to be a while before I get you in. I don't want you blocking the height.
All right, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
Hey, ground record 2642. They won't let us in spot 7, so they said something about Kilo November. American, that was 2642? Yeah, we're right here on Kilo Romeo. Alright, November's behind you. Are you waiting for the alleyway at spot 7? Yeah, he needs to clear the alley, I guess, so we're going to Alpha 11. Okay, you can leave it right there at Romeo, short of Juliet, and you're fine to hang out there for me. Romeo, short of Juliet, thanks a lot.
Start number 1.
Come on, 6057, cross 27 right, so Papa 2, tower 18.5. Cross 27 right, Papa 2, tower 18.5. Ramp American 2642, ground says they wanted us right here, Romeo short of Juliet.
Okay. Romeo, I'll bring you in when I can.
Appreciate it, thanks. Down Sierra, and I guess short of Sierra 1 for your actual sequence for monitor tower 18.5.
Okay, short of Sierra 1 and over the tower, American 1621.
That should be getting right out.
Alright.
Hey Jackson, how's it going? Ford Duster, how's it going?
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
Not doing that bad. I had a flight earlier, and I'm going to get another one in right now, which is pretty good.
642, I got to take traffic out.
I'm in Myrtle Beach right now. We're going to run a Spirit Airlines flight up to Boston. I haven't been to Boston in a long time.
Good morning, American 2095, not spot 2. Did I just spot 2?
2095. American 462 ramp is pushing through, keep it on the west side of the alley.
And the 3D rain effect, that edit should be online at xplane.to soon. It's just waiting for approval. So the links are down below
Signal and pin on the right. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
for those that may want to try it. But you need an actual hardware flight deck because there's no 3D panel anymore. It's been taken out. So we can enjoy the 3D rain effect. All right.
American 1330 ground 27 left, that should be a Foxtrot, hold short at 27 right. Foxtrot, short 27 right, American 3030. 6054, spot 12 west, sir. 6054 ground 27 left.
Alright, exterior lights as needed. We're good. APU is needed. It's off. Master caution recall is done. Flaps are set for takeoff. Transponder TA auto. Weather radars auto. Flight controls are free and clear. We're good. Get on out of here.
When you have room behind the American Air, 27 left taxi, Echo 5, Echo, hold short of 27 right.
Okay, 27 on Echo 5, Echo, hold short 27 right.
And just check, I'll read through your planners just to make sure it's matched up to what we have.
Oh, there goes my dehumidifier again. Must be full. With all the rain we've had the past 5 days, I'm not surprised. I think I've been emptying that twice a day.
7 left, Juliet, for check, please.
About 6175 down, 27 left, taxi, Foxtrot, hold short of 27 right.
Alright, 27 left, via Foxtrot, short 27 right, domestic 27 taxi.
American 1313, cross 27 right, and taxi via Papa 2, towers 885.
Cross 27 right, Papa 2, towers 5, American. Good.
T-Mon 6054, cross 27 right, turn right on Sierra, towers 885.
Cross 27 right, right on Sierra, tower 885.
American 2095, monitor tower 885.
2095, I'm going to get a number shift, sir. I guess I might stop us for a second.
Yeah, 2095, no problem. Just hold short of November for now.
Sure, no problem.
United 1744, cross 27 right, taxi Papa 2, monitor tower 885.
Alright, clear across 27 right, Papa 2, and then monitor tower, United 1744. And 2095, that's my numbers.
Very good, 295, straight ahead, towers 885.
There's no SID out of Myrtle Beach, so we're going direct.
4.5 mile final, cross 27 right, turn right on Sierra, and then towers 885.
Clear across 27 right, right turn Sierra, that's via Foxtrot, will be at 0655.
You're 4719, left on Sierra, towers 885.
Left on Sierra,
American 1837, they did actually send a confirmation of that ground stop again for Miami. It does sound like it's going to be extended for them at least a full hour from the time I talked to you last. We'll see what time the actual update is, but it'll be, I guess, another 4 minutes or so.
Roger that, thanks, American 1837.
3 in the morning, my lord. 3 a.m. Man, I remember those nights being up that late. I have them quite often myself, but
And round T-Mod 616, we are all good to go, and we have X-ray ready to contact it.
T-Mod 616, when you head on Kilo, hold short of Mike.
Alright, we'll continue taxing Kilo, short of Mike, for T-Mod 6. Behind company, right turn Juliet, spot 2, ground point. Juliet, spot 2, at 29 miles. Like 12 loads, there you go. Check home for taxi. 1211.
switch on over. And I don't need you anymore.
Runway 4 left, line up and wait.
Line up and wait, runway 4 left.
Look at 'Cause if I go this way, it zooms out, and then I do it again, it zooms in. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
4 left kilo and ground on the 45 over.
No idea what this thing is doing. Maybe I'll quit while I'm ahead right here. Maybe we will quit while we're ahead. I think it's on your screen there. Yeah, we're just getting ready to go right now, actually. Yeah, what are we looking at here? Tender notification, exterior lights. Engine start selectors to continuous auto throttle is armed. Transponder TARAN. Park and brake off 40%. And we are gone. Hi, Boston, here we come. That's 40%. They are stable. Thrust is set. Airspeed's active.
$80 knots.
Check. Throttle hold.
V1, rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up. Oh, I don't have my keyboard to turn off the wipers.
400.
I'll get to that in a minute. Ooh, look at that weather. Not going to be much to see on the climb out.
1,000.
Okay, Johnny. Did a little more work. I resized the terrain effect a little bit more. I think the droplets were a little too big last go around. Flaps 1. Winds are pretty mellow right now. Flaps up. 11 knot headwind. Not bad. Okay, all you. Alright, now let me get my keyboard here. So I can get those wipers turned off. I don't have the switches wired up. There you go, you're my passenger, yeah. Sit back and try and get some sleep. What's some nasty weather out there? And we'll be passing right over JFK on our way up to Boston. Hopefully there'll be something to see. It's going to be nice when Laminar finally gets to the networking stuff and gets all this worked out. Hopefully before the end of the year would be nice. And that's 10. And climbing up nicely. We got a ways to go for Jamie. See, now the audio files in the back sound decent. They're muffled now. Last flight they were blasting. It sounded like they were sitting right next to us giving the speech to everybody sitting in the back. Oh, Pat? Yeah, he's got the same Flightdeck Solutions setup I have. Only he has a motorized throttle quad. I don't have that yet. It's on my list. And he put his standby gauges in. I still have mine in a box. I have to replace that monitor. I have it, I just haven't gotten around to do it. Yeah, he's got some pretty cool videos. He must be going through withdrawal right now because he's in Arizona. I think they're doing some house shopping. They want to go look at some neighborhoods. So he hasn't been flying for a couple of days, so he must be going through withdrawal. Another 59 miles at top of climb. And we've got 6:32 to go. You figure about an hour and a half. It would really be nice if they got their weather worked out over the network. Yep, Pat 738. Yep. And you know what? We're not getting bounced around, so go ahead, let him run around. It's like the center screen needs a weather update or something. Looks pretty cool out there, right, Wendell? It's like they all have their own weather going on. Yeah, I think from what he said, he's tired of California. He's looking to get out. So, man, he's going to have to take that flight deck apart again. and then build it again. Oh man, he's done that so many times. If I ever move to Prescott, Arizona, I'll have to hire him to come out here. I'll pay for him and his wife. They can come out first class. We'll put them up at a hotel. His wife and my wife, they can go out and enjoy Boca, while Pat and I take everything apart and get ready for the move. Oh yeah, she's climbing up nicely. What do we have, another 56 miles to top of climb? And we're only 19 minutes out of the gate, so that's actually not bad. And we got somebody in front of us here. Let's back that down some. Let's see where they are. Yeah, about 28 miles out. Hopefully we'll be above them by the time we catch up to them. If we catch up to them, we may not. Yeah, I would imagine. Although he hasn't purchased one in a while, so I'm sure he's probably excited about it. That's for sure. And let's switch over. Should have did that a while ago. That should be up.
Alright, 2677, Southwest 346.
American 480, you may CT now, United K2 809.
It's about 5 miles out. Don't think we'll see him from here.
Southwest 2094, contact approach 124.35.
12435, Southwest 2094.
Yeah, if you give me the weather that's in the right and the center and the left, it wouldn't be too bad. And the weird thing is that they're all getting the weather information from the same place, X-Plane 12, live weather update. So how it comes up with this, and that, I don't get it. I just don't get it. And he's below us by 1,200, and that's increasing. Very good. Yeah, it looks like we're getting some storms. We had some rain on the way out. That's for sure. Which I like best? I don't know if there is a best. There's some great things about each simulator, but I don't know if I would say each one of them is the best. Which one would be the best? I prefer the Zibo Mod and FDS to XP and ZHSI controlling the show, but I prefer the 2020 visuals. So, and their clouds, I believe, look better than what we have here as well. But from what I've seen, X-Plane 12 has the better looking airports as far as default is concerned. So they both have good and bad. And then it's the aircraft, the way they handle. The PMDG just doesn't handle the way the Zibo Mod does. And I've tried to get it dialed in, but it just can only do so much with the base platform, I would imagine. That must be their limitations on their end as well. But the one good thing is the way this is set up now, I can fly X-Plane 12 or MS 2020. I can take my pick. Right, I went from Myrtle Beach up to Boston in X-Plane 12. I can take Boston back to Myrtle Beach in 2020 if I want, which is rather nice. And actually, I would turn off those two computers, which run the left and right screen, and then just change those monitors from HDMI 2 to HDMI 1, and I'm good to go with the MS 2020. Yeah, any flight deck or base platform that comes out, yeah, is good. The competition is great, so just keep them coming. The more they push each other, the better it is for us on the end. You know, the end user is going to be the benefit of all this. So, because I really believe that X-Plane 12 was not going to be as graphic intense as it is now, but I think that's a direct result of what happened with MS 2020. So, it's a good thing they come back into the game. Competition is a beautiful thing, especially if they want our dollars, right? Oh yeah, the photogrammetry in 2020 is amazing. I mean, I grew up in Brooklyn, and I fly around Manhattan, and Manhattan looks absolutely stunning in 2020. I wonder if a weather refresh would actually do anything here. I mean, this thing doesn't even look like anything has changed. Let's see. Watch me screw this whole thing up. Weather. Download wheel. It said it just uploaded right now. Yeah, rescan. Apply. I don't get it. I just don't get it. How do you get 3 different views from the same weather program, getting the data from the same place? Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to push it. It's going to push them and it's going to drive them to give us what we want. If not, they're not going to get our dollars. So it's a good thing that they're back in the game. And me, you know, I'm not a fanboy. I know a lot of people don't like that word, but I'm not a fanboy of any base platform. You know, I'm not an X-Plane fanboy about MS 2020 or Microsoft or P3D. The only thing I'm a fanboy of is my flight simulation experience. And whoever gives that to me, that's where I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna lean to. I started out with P3D with the flight deck, moved on to X-Plane 12, and now I've introduced MS 2020 into the mix now. So I'm just amazed that I can run 2 base platforms fairly easy with this. If you would have told me that when I first got this 8-9 years ago, I'd have said, nah, no way. There's just too much involved. But the hardware and the software has evolved, which is good for us, again, on the end. And we got 5:57 to go to Boston. I'm just surprised this hasn't updated by now or changed or did something.
It's okay if you're a little high and tricky for the speed. Let's just try not to go over more than.
I'd be better off setting the weather myself manually. You know what? Let's take a look at this left one here. Make sure this is set up for live weather. Weather. And rescan, downloading right now. Real weather. 93, 95%. 100% done. So Fly changes. What a joke.
Golden Eagle, 4 up Charlie, center left.
20 years from now, man, I hope I'm still around 20 years from now being able to fly. The flight deck itself? The flight deck will probably just get maintenance on stuff that breaks. I mean, other than I want to put in a motorized throttle quad from Flightdeck Solutions. I'd like to get one of those. But other than that, it's probably going to be more just software updates as time goes by.
678, approach 2435, see you later.
You know, and as maybe some of these older radios die, I can replace them with the updated ones. You know, because these just have the dual digit. Right, they're not 3-digit on the comm radios and the nav radios. So they could be upgraded in the future. No need to right now, though.
Southern 4109, 28.5, cross Mumbar 240, and we have 270 on the speed assign.
I'm sorry, I was...
Yeah, wait for stuff to just start failing, and then that's when I'll start changing and updating stuff. I think my TVs are going to be next in line, though. But all the medical bills we just got hit with, all that stuff is on hold now for a while, at least till the end of the year before I start saving again. That should be in range now. Yep.
Southwest 78, contact approach 12435.
35, yeah, they weren't there at 75. Good day.
And who else checked in?
Southern 4109, would you confirm the altitude descending via, except what the altitude was?
Okay, I'm a couple calls behind now. Let's be patient with me. Southwest 4109, via to 12,000, yeah?
Via down to 12,000, Southern 4109.
That comes from dealing with this over the 9 years that I've had it. After a while,
42, 24, 35.
it just gets a little bit easier and easier as you do it over and over and over again. Sometimes something will happen that hasn't happened in a while, and I'll have to go and refresh my memory. Or there'll be times I'll spend hours working on something because I just don't remember how I did it in the past, and I didn't write it down. Then I painfully go through the process all over again.
Center down to 770 and 24.
Delta 770, F enter. Descend via the all-out 1, except maintain 14,000, Palomar altimeter 2996.
299 send me the all I want.
1,000 to go.
14,000.
We're coming up on cruise. So we're cruising at 37,000. Let's see, that's 32 minutes from the gate, 22 minutes from the runway, and we've got 520 miles to go to Boston.
Alaska 232, with another descend via the all-out 1, except maintain 14,000, Palomar altimeter 2996.
Okay, send me the OR1, just maintain 14,000 now, 52.
United 710, approach 2435.
And 710 getting?
There. Radar 12, jump up your right side, 12 miles.
Yeah, I was the same way when I first started, and then I purchased the Boeing manuals for this. I still have them on my desk back there. And then I just started going through them, and then I started looking at videos, and then if there was something I didn't understand, I'd go see if there was a video first. And aside from all the Boeing manuals that I have, I also purchased the AOA series way back when. Angle of Attack came out with a 737 video series, which was rather nice. And I purchased that whole package, and I have all those videos on DVD, so I can go back and refresh my memory whenever I feel like it. So, and it's all about the 737. There's a whole bunch of them. It's got a stack like this of them. And I also have some computer-based training from Boeing here as well. So a ton of stuff to actually go and reference if I need. Let's see, I could probably bring you back. No excess data. Very good.
Southwest 21, direct jack, cross jack, that is City, Lindbergh 2997.
Yeah, it's a lot of buttons, but if you take each panel one at a time, each panel does something else. Once you figure out what it does, it just makes it that much easier. And then everything that's in here is worked up as a flow, so it's done a certain way every time. So that's one of the reasons why I made this up way back when. When I first started, I did this for me so I didn't miss anything, because the flow is what they have memorized, and then the checklist is actually built into the flow, because if you do the flow from beginning to end, you're going to hit all the items in the checklist. So that's why I put this together. Now, more or less, I use it when I have someone in the flight deck that doesn't know anything about the plane, but they want to be able to start it themselves, because that's one of the first things they ask me. Can I start that thing? And then we'll go through this step by step. I'll take them, DC voltmeter selected to bat. And I'll tell them, okay, this is the DC voltmeter. Take that and move it to bat. And then we'll go on to the battery switch. Okay, put this on guarded. Right, then we're going to make sure that the standby power and then alternate flaps and so on and so forth. And we go through it step by step. And then when we're done on the back end, I mean, it may take 4 hours with some of my friends, but when we're done, they started from cold and dark to securing the aircraft on the back end. Sometimes they don't land it all that well, but they have a blast trying, that's for sure. So I've actually had a Cessna pilot come in here, and he wanted to go to, was it St. Martin, Princess Juliana? And we ended up in the swimming pool in the hotel next to the airport. So that was an interesting approach. I think that's one of the good things and one of the bad things about having this in the garage. When we have family over and have a party, everybody seems to gravitate to this. So we kind of don't sit and chat and talk in the backyard all that much, So that's kind of not all that great, but I can't tell them no. I could lie to them though and tell them, nah, it's being worked on, power supply's out or something, but that's not me. But when the party starts to get a little dull and nobody has anything left to say, this is usually a party saver. So it kind of works both ways. I think this is the worst I've ever seen the weather in X-Plane 12. It usually catches up and connects. I wonder if they're broke on their end today, because this thing really hasn't done much of anything. It says it's updating though, but I've never seen it this bad for this long a period of time. Yeah, the NG's become my favorite. It used to be the 767, but that was many, many years ago. And I like the 67 because the 5767, it's the same ticket for both aircraft because they're basically the same. And the Boeing brown color is pretty cool. But over the years, the Boeing gray has really got to me as well. And the 737 I prefer because there's that many more routes in the real world that I can go find that are nice and short that I can do. Up here, the 767 routes you find, they're usually pretty long routes. Sitting at cruise for hours and hours and hours is not my thing. I'd like to get up, cruise a little bit, and then come on down. This is probably one of the longer ones that I may find to do. Only because I haven't been to Boston in a while, and Myrtle Beach seemed like a pretty good location to get out of. But usually I'm not looking for 2-hour flights. Usually hour, 15 minutes, hour and a half. Oh, give me 20 minutes of cruise, half-hour cruise, and come on down. Just enough time to look at the paperwork on the back end. And you know what? Let's try one more thing here. I'm going to go to, let's see, let's bring you up. Give me clear skies. Manual weather here. And it should change automatically, yeah. Because it follows the server computer. So it should go right back immediately. Now, let's try you here. Looks like there's a couple of tornadoes out there in the distance. All the way up to freaking 36,000 feet. Let's do this here. Let's change that. Apply. Yeah. Okay, and now let's go back to real weather. Download real weather. And done. Apply. Let's see what we get here now. Now maybe there's something going on with their service. But that definitely looks better now. Should have did that a long time ago. But I'm not that bright. Alright, we're at 455 to Boston. And we're under 300 to top of descent. 296. Hey, at least now we'll have a pretty good view on the way in, I think, maybe. Unless it starts building up again on its own. Looks like it's starting to do that already. U.S. to Thailand? Yeah. I don't think my back would be able to take that kind of ride. Maybe if I did it in steps. Although I do have all the flights from World Flight 2023. I wrote them all down. And the routes that they used. So I think there's like 50 flights or something like that. There's a few of them that are like a little bit longer than I will probably be sitting in here doing. But there's quite a few that are pretty nice. So one of my goals for 2024, being that 2023 is almost over, is to maybe actually run around the world flight myself from point A to point A on the back end. That's something I've never done in flight simulation in all the years, is run around the world. So I may do that. But if I do that, I definitely want to make sure that I'm sitting in the flight deck for the entire time. This way I'll know that I sat in an aircraft going completely around the globe, which would be pretty cool. Not if you ask my wife, though. My wife would be like, "You're crazy. You're sitting in a garage." Then I tell her, say, "Listen, how many hours you sit on the couch watching the Hallmark Channel?" "That's different. It's always different." And I tell her, "Listen, I go to different airports all the time, so it's different for me too." Yeah, look, you see, it's creeping back in. We got 3 different sets of clouds going on here, popping in. Yeah, I've never done it. I mean, I've popped into airports all over the place, but I've never gone from point A to point B to completely go around the globe and come back where I started from. Something I've never done. So that might be my goal for 2024. Fly around the world. Would be nice if networking is fixed by then by Laminar Research, because it would make it that much more enjoyable. Oh, my wife would love it, because that means I'm not inside bothering her, you know? And what do we have? We got a ground speed of 490. We were hoofing it this afternoon. I was like at 550, 540. We were boogieing earlier down in Argentina. Man, we had nice tailwind. Be nice if we break 500 here. We got a 45 knot tailwind now. Well, just about.
Alaska 245, contact approach 128.1. 28.1, Alaska 245.
Now this guy is where. Don't like you here. Where'd you go? We're gonna get started. T-Gas is gonna start yelling at us. I don't see him though. I don't see him though. I'm surprised T-Gas isn't getting ready to start freaking giving me some. There you go. He's not crossing. He's just off to my left. But I do not see him at all. There he is. I got him. I should actually go right, but JetBlue. JetBlue. I think that's the only aircraft I've seen today in the air. Oh, that's got to be a pretty cool ride. It would be nice if I could do some traveling, but with the oxygen, it's just so difficult. Because we could do it now. Yeah, my wife, she works through her phone, so she can be anywhere. My biggest problem is, well, aside from the oxygen, are the cats. All the pets. Oh, look like the weather updated again, and it looks like it's pretty good now. Maybe they are working on the server for the weather.
American 2492, 9.8 for 16,000.
American 2492, then responding main field level 360.
360, American 2492.
November 560 Hotel Office, says at Montgomery Field Airport, be a direct warning intersection, Whiskey Alpha Romeo, November Echo. Victor 514, Mission Bay direct, maintain 16,000, and you can resume a normal rate.
560 Hotel to Montgomery Field 1, Victor 514, Mission Bay direct.
That's in range, and you should be 42. And we're under 400 miles to go. Yeah, it would be nice, but it's not just the oxygen, all my medications too. And then, God forbid, if I was to have an issue overseas somewhere. My luck, that's when it'll happen. I'll be in the jungle somewhere. Get bit by a snake. It's one of the nice things about 2020, at least being able to see it with the tiles from the satellite data, which is pretty cool. Get to see a lot of places I'm never going to see in the real world that way.
Except maintain 14,000, the altimeter 29907.
And who knows, 20 years from now, we may be flying in flight simulators over actual satellite data, with people in cars actually moving. Now that would be pretty cool.
Camera 3365, center, good evening. Delta 570.
And we're getting close to breaking 500. We got a ground speed of 494 now, but
4,000, the altimeter
I don't think we're going to do it. And what do we have at Jamie? Jamie, we should have 12.5 on the fuel. We're at 12.6 right now. We're looking good. And we get in, we should have what, 9 at Boston. So that hasn't budged.
Box the 620, Venture, descend via the Ola 1, cadet maintain 14,000, the altimeter 29907.
Descend via the Ola 1 arrival, 714,000, which is 997, like that.
American 2492, Cedric Canoa.
Cedric Canoa, American 2492.
That was W, 10.89.
Could you imagine 20 years from now? Man. 20 years ago, I did not have this, and I probably never would have thought that I would have made it. So, and when I first started flight simulation, there's no way I was ever going to get to this level. Never thought it would. Not for the home end user. Come a long way in a short period of time. Well, not really that short. 40 years.
4200, descend via the Lucky 1, except maintain 10,000, the altimeter 29907.
The Lucky 1 is 1710,000, 4242.
Southwest 1927, any complaints from the climb?
Nothing, pretty soon, South 1927.
And how about we take a look at some of this paperwork from Boston.
Southwest 1927, center on...
And we have Roebuck 3 for right. Yes. Sophie. And expect vectors, yeah. What do we have here? We're getting picked up at JFK.
Southwest 4342, just 10 degrees to the right. Degrees to the right, that's 4342.
Effects, we need to be at 230. Ruiz between 210, 230. Alwyn above 17. Bank 16. Roebuck is 260 between 19 and 12. Provy is above 11. Sophie 220 between 9 and 10. Ernie 7 and 8. And after that we have Gashi 210 at 6. Yes. Winnie, and then we're on our way in.
Yellow 0231 center, Roger, final maintain, final 350, that'll be your final.
Okay, 350, 351, thank you.
Senator Triple 89, 27
I'm going to say we freeze up here. That took a long time to pop up.
Except maintain 10,000, altimeter 2997. The Lucky 1, except maintain 10,000, and Southwest 4342, approach 2435. 2435, South 4342, good day.
Good evening, King Air 5500, pop 11-3 for 15,000 on a line heading to Johnny Airway.
King Air 5500, pop up and 5maintain, level 230.
Under flight level 230, sir, pop.
King Air 00, pop back to 075, expect hard.
Okay, 05, 075.
And you. You're good, you're good, good terrain, you're good, you're good, you're good.
It's after Imperial on J18 before Hawk.
Roger that.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with me with cold. Right now, I keep everything in here at 78 degrees. It's a little warmer for the computers than I'd like, but for my breathing, it's pretty much where it needs to be. So, I told my wife, I said, if we really went somewhere out of the States and went somewhere and did something, I would definitely like to take a ride on the Orient Express. Was it run from Istanbul up to Paris? Do the whole run. That would be an experience. But it would be difficult for me because I'm a very picky eater. 34. Oh, you're looking at the wrong page, Johnny. I'm like, wait a minute, it's acting up again. Yeah, you're acting up. Oh, that's a great view. Be nice if it stays like this the rest of the way down. We still have a ways to go. What are we looking at? 3:30 to Boston. We got 170 miles at top of descent.
Southwest 2821, center 2677. 12677, Southwest 2821.
Yeah.
Hello, 0231, direct Alvin.
But you know what? With the pets that we have and the oxygen I have that we can't go anywhere, that means I get to save money to spend on this. So, not a bad thing, all in all.
Oh, he's in 9311, center. Hello. No, 2620, approach 2435. 2435, Delta 2620.
Georgetown, Delaware Coastal, huh? It should be in range.
2435, 7509, good day.
Bravo,
53 not wind, but it's not helping us. We actually lost a little bit of speed. We're at 483 now. Don't think we're going to break 5. Don't think that's going to happen this ride.
JetBlue 19 sitting out of 27.5 for 240. JetBlue 19, center, hello. Descend to Seattle, lucky one arrive, 178.2000, descend Seattle altimeter, 2998.
Hey, descend via the Lucky One, XF 18, 12000, and taking altimeter, please.
2998.
And what do we have coming up in Girk? 11.6. We're at 11.7, so that's looking pretty good. And we did drop a bit. 8.9 getting into Boston instead of 9.
Airliner signing center on Saturday, this is the Ola 1 arrival, 78.4000, Alabama altimeter 2995.
2995 to 14,000, the Ola 1 arrival, ladies and 90.
40.
39, level 240. Message 339, center, dust up to your right, 3 miles, stay here, 23,000, opposite direction, lower expected. 339.
Nice and clear out now. What are we looking at? 300 miles to go, and that's an hour out of the gate. Me? In my other house around the corner, which is like 8 houses down, I have a numbers matching 1970 Dodge Challenger with a 440 engine in it. It has a 727 automatic. Doesn't have the 4-speed though, but burnt orange, FK5. The car's loaded. It has air conditioning from the factory. It has factory power windows. It has a luggage rack on the back. So, and back then they made these cars for racing. So having all those extras in there made this car actually rare bird. She was a demonstrator back in the day. I tracked her all the way back to Texas, and I got lucky. I was in the hospital when a friend of mine found her at an auction in Kentucky, and he called me, and I was laying in my hospital bed, and he said, "You want me to bid on it? It's a late entry. It wasn't even in the book, the auction book, and it didn't come up for the auction until Sunday." So it was me and one other guy bidding on that car, and I got the car for under 50 grand. Right now the car's worth over 100. That's got to be about 7 years ago now. So that's what sits in the other garage. This is in my house, in my garage, is the flight deck, and then in the guest house around, well, it's a rental now. My rent is, they have access to the entire house, the backyard, the pool, the front. They just don't have access to the garage, other than the washer and dryer, because my car's in there. The woman asked me, can I put my kids' bikes in there? I'm like, no, don't want nothing touching it, nothing leaning against it, no accidents, no, I'm sorry. Sorry. You can put the bikes on the back, you know, on the lanai area back there. Leave them out there. But I don't want anything near my baby. My other baby. I got 2 babies. Well, 3 babies if you count my wife. My wife always says she's last. Well, it looks like whatever that weather issue is, or was, looks like it cleared up. Because the weather seems to be matching pretty good, the clouds that is, anyway. Alright, Leah, what do we have here? 11.3 on the fuel. We're at 11.3 right now. And that puts us about 100 miles out of JFK. And we're just coming over New Jersey now. Atlantic City should be just about right down there. It's all right. And Mercus 47. Fuel is right on the money.
Southwest 5031 point 1 for 240. Southwest 5001, center to 7, lucky 1, that's maintain 10,000.
Oh yeah. On my baby? Oh yeah. Yeah, when my wife has to get stuff out of the garage, I go over there with her. If I know that the stuff is on the left-hand side of the garage, and she has to move the stuff, I said, nope, I'll get it. I'll move it, I'll take it out. She's like, I'm not going to hit the car. I says, listen, I don't want to hear sorry later on. I'll do it. If I hit it, it's on me, you know?
American 480 center 2677, goodbye. 2677, see ya.
She's due to go to a show. I haven't brought her to a show in a while. Got to be about 6 months since I've been to a car show. She's been sitting. I had to get her polished up.
United 2074, maintain 300 knots. 300 knots, United 2074. We can't quite give you 300, we give you 290, just up to United 2074. United 2074, maintain 290 knots or greater.
Yeah, we're under 100 miles, the top of the descent now. Oh yeah. 94. We're getting there. Oh, we have a ground speed of 509. I didn't think we were going to do it. Look at that. We got a 59 knot tailwind pushing us now. Oh yeah. 511.
Alpha 3341, Pacific Jack, cross jacket, maintain 10,000, Buffalo 2998.
Direct Jack, cross jacket, 10,000, Southwest 3341, 929. Southwest 6583, out of 13,000, climbing to the beach.
South 6583, up and right.
Oh, don't think we can see Atlantic City from here. We're not inland far enough. Tom's River. I have family in Jersey. Well, my wife's family's in Jersey.
Southwest 6583, catch 126.77. 50, 75, 25, flight level 240. 50, 75, center up to Momar, restricted. Momar, that's 50, that was 57 knots. Mars is 7, connect approach at 125.3. 125.3.
American 43, contact center 133.2.
133.2, American 43. South 5001, connect approach at 134.35.
61 knot tailwind. Yeah, it's starting to pick up now. Push us along.
South 2685, connect approach at 124.35.
South 2685, 2435. 932, pass 12000, contact 230,
That's 382, up and right.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Alpha 5075, cross 6, get to maintain 12,000,
You're not kidding. That destroyed the family life for quite some time.
That's 382, plotting 035. 035. 3341, connect on board, gentlemen, 24.35. 2435, 3341.
That puts us over Tom's River.
2677.
Can actually see Staten Island, Coney Island, Brooklyn, Queens. Can't make out Manhattan yet. The view is actually pretty good. We can see pretty far. Hopefully it stays that way. Yeah, it's a Spirit Airlines flight. Yep. Yeah, the yellow with the black writing. Yeah, that's the livery. And what do we have? We have gate B37 on the way in. So we've got 4 right coming in. I don't know if we're going to stop in time to make that left to get in quick. We're probably going to go down to the end, come around. All right, what are we coming in as right now? Yeah, we're looking at a $141 right now. No big deal. Since this is going to be my last flight of the day. Last flight of the day. That sounds good. That means I did more than one. I don't mind a long taxi. And at Merca, what do we have here? We should have 10.4 in the fuel. We're at 10.5. So I don't think fuel's going to be an issue. We lost a couple 100 pounds though. We were at 9. Boston most of the way. We're at 8.8 now. So. Oh, that stinks. Yeah, I always run my wife's flights when my wife flies up to New York or out to Long Island to go visit family. After I drop her off at the airport, I have all the flight information for her flights. So she's usually sitting in the plane and she's going like, they're closing the door, we're backing out now, and then I'll start my flight at the same time. I think the last time I got into Trenton, when she ran the flight into Trenton, I think I was off by like maybe 3 minutes. Not bad. Yeah, fuel is right on the money. What are we looking at here? JFK is up next. That should be popping up on the screen any second here. Yep. 38. And JFK, 20 miles out. There's the Verrazano Bridge. There's Manhattan. There's LaGuardia. Just barely make out the strip there. You can see Newark. Pretty nice view. We're looking at 27 miles at top of descent. And we are what? Okay, let's get you set for now. And let's get them back in their seats. And we've got 183 miles to go, 25 miles at top of descent. And when do we get on that chart? Now we get on here, not to Ruiz. Right, that's all not to scale. So when we hit Ruiz, we'll be on the chart. And we have another 60 miles. We'll be on that arrival chart.
Function 413, connect approach at 125.3. 25.3, flight shift 413. Function 1195, maintain 300 knots or greater, disregard the public speed.
My old neighborhood, Brooklyn. Miss the neighborhood, but I don't miss the weather, especially those winters. You can keep those winters. Coney Island. Oh no, that's not Coney Island. That's probably more Long Island. Southern State Parkway's down there. It's probably Reese Park. And 61. And JFK, that puts us on the arrival, but it's not to scale. Yeah. News, we should have 10 on the fuel. Actually, no. We should have 9.9 at news. We're at 10.1 right now. Looking pretty good. And we're just about ready to start our descent. Here we go. And that's an hour and 16 minutes from the gate, an hour and 7 from the runway. And although we're inbound to news, we're not being shown on that chart just yet because it's not to scale. We should pop up after flex before we get to Ruiz. Alright, you're set, you're set, you're set. Terrain is in, you are in, you are in. And we'll be doing a buck 48 on the way in. He's 5 miles out, and I ain't climbing. I don't see him, but he's 5 miles out. And you're going to need a little bit of freaking drag there, Johnny. Now, according to FlightAware, DT, and this is 155. We'll see how close we come to that. We get in within the next 35 minutes, we should be good.
Get in Southwest 4124, descent to 50280 from Beaumont and 50240. 300 there, right?
Yeah, looks like we're going to have a pretty good view coming in.
72024, 11,000 for flight level 232. Southwest 2824 center, hello.
Yeah, let's get you set. Actually, you know what? We're going to use the whole runway.
24. Descend via the lucky one, except maintain 12,000. Altimeter is 2998.
Descend via the lucky one arrival, except maintain 12,000.
Center, good evening, Unit 200 ahead of flight level 260, descend flight level 240, Nola 1 arrival.
Radius 300, has the center on an update, descend via the one, except
So at flex, we need to be 23. Right now, we're at 27.7.
Up to 540, descend via the lucky one, except maintain 10,000. Altimeter is 2998. Level 540.
And we've got 118 miles to go. And we should have 8.7 on the fuel when we get in. And we're at 10 right now. We should have 10 at fix. And she's coming down beautifully.
Southwest 3796, 30, descend 240 at Omar. We have
I would think they would pop up on here a lot sooner than that. It's going to be about 5 miles out when we pass anyway, below us, by the time we get to them. And we're below them already by 6.
Monitor vertical speed. Clear of conflict.
And we're 5 miles out, and we're 1,000 feet below. Oh, we're good. $10 on the fuel at FX, right on the money. 76. So within the next 35 miles, we should be on that chart.
United 2074 from River, flight level 200, maintain 3009.
All right, cross over flight level 200, United 2074.
That was me from many, 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 many years ago. That was, man, that was probably 35 years ago. Long time ago. And that was taken, it might have been a 10-2 cafe, if I remember right. It was a Halloween costume from back then. That was back when I had glasses. I think I was wearing glasses in that. I had the surgery. Yeah, I had the surgery 23 years ago, so that's got to be at least 25 years ago. Almost 30 years ago.
Push 2435, Southwest 4124, you have a water poison.
I want to see if she's going to pick up now. Has us above 21, below 23. We're holding at 23 right now. I want to see when we pass Ruiz if she begins to drop. If not, then there's something going on here. And what do we have here? 93 miles to go.
Up 540, approach 2435, thanks again, have a good day. 2435, Delta 540.
Yeah, that's what happens when you've been on this earth for 62 years. You develop stories. Some of them I look back on and I can't believe it myself, and I was there going like, no, that didn't happen. Did it? It sure did. I'll give you the perfect example of just how crazy we were when we were kids growing up in Brooklyn. And this is no lie. And I actually had to have two of my brothers confirm this to my wife because my wife swore to me that I was lying to her. All right? We grew up on 61st Street between 4th and 5th Avenue in Bay Ridge, Sunset Park, Brooklyn. And if you use Google Earth and walk through that block, you'll see there's nothing but 16-unit tenement buildings that line the entire sides of the street. I grew up with a ton of kids on that block, 40, 50 kids when we got out of school. And what we did for fun, no kidding, we had fights, the up the blocks against the down the blocks. And we would go into back alleys and we would throw bottles and rocks at each other. And we've actually bled, needed stitches a few times. We did some crazy stuff back then. I told my wife, she's like, no way. I said, listen, go talk to my sister Jackie. Go ask her. I said, I won't even say anything to her the last time they were here at a party. She said, yep. I said, now go ask my brother Pat. She says, I'm not kidding you. I remember John Sweeney. I felt so bad for him, man. A friend of mine, he grew up in 410, 61st Street, right next to us. I was in 414. And he really didn't want to have anything to do with it, and everybody kept pushing him, you know, peer pressure. He finally picked up a bottle and threw it. He hit some girl right in her stomach. He felt so bad. Some crazy times. Crazy times. And then we got older, and then we started hanging out together, and then we started drinking Mad Dog 50-50 and all other kinds. We used to buy big gallons of Ripple and Boone's Farm wine, and we used to start drinking in those alleys. We're on that chart now. Oh, I can feel my breathing now. Definitely going to have to do a treatment after this. Oh, some good times back then. Some good times. We had some pretty bad gangs up in New York back then. Back in the 70s and early 80s. And there was one particular group. They were called the Dirty Ones. And I don't know if anybody remembers them that may be on here from back then in Brooklyn. They were a pretty mean group. You know, they'd shoot you just as soon as they look at you. But we knew them growing up. And we grew up on that block. They knew we weren't going anywhere. They couldn't get rid of us. And on Halloween, we'd actually whack them with eggs. People that would go around shooting, killing people. We'd go around whacking them with eggs, and they try whacking us with eggs just for that night, though. After that, you got back in line. Some crazy times back then. See, look, she's not bringing us down at all here.
American 1543, contact Clipper 124.35 today. 2435.
Let's get us down to 11. How about that?
American 2066, fly heading 265.
265, I'm heading American 2066.
What do we have at Profi? We have Judy at 10. Okay.
Southwest 3764, contact center 127.52 today.
2752, Southwest 3764, okay.
It seems as if there's a constraint in there about above. It just doesn't pick up and continue on down like it's been doing in the past. So maybe some work that they did on it. I have to keep an eye on it. So we'll be below 19 when we get to Robic. And at Bank, we should have 9.4. We're at 9.4. And we're coming down nicely.
230, United 1479.
That was the only day that it ever happened, and it happened every Halloween until we got a little bit older. There was a whole bunch of them, dirty ones, and then eventually they started getting killed off, and they were down to 3 of them eventually, and it was the gruesome threesome. What was it? The gruesome? What was it? No, it was the gruesome twosome, and then the lonesome onesome. It was the fearsome, the fearsome threesome. Then it was the gruesome twosome after they got killed. And then it was the lonesome onesome before he got taken out.
United 1479, contact center 127.52. Good day.
2752, good day, United 14.
All right, so we're below 19, and we need to be above 12 when we get to Roebuck. So we're looking pretty good. We're coming up on 18 now. And let me give you a little speed break here. And local pressure. And what do we have here? Cabin pressurization. Wrong page there, Johnny. Bleed air panel. We are auto. Land altitude is in. Passenger signs are on. Auto brake selector is set. Flight instruments and radios are set. Local pressure is in. Recall. And we have to get VREF minimums in. Oh, we're getting some rain. And we're good here. And we'll be coming in at a buck 47.
Southwest 35, 60 kilometers, developable speed 70.
Ohio 270,
And
Southwest 35, 60, contact 127.52.
2752, Southwest.
holding at 3.
American 596 out of 260 for 240.
American 596, center road, this one maintain 13 now, for the altimeter is 3001.
Nah, up there, these people, that was just a way of life up there for these guys. It was a bad neighborhood back then. And it got even worse by the time we were moving out. I don't know what it's like now. But,
River 200, American 2630.
American 596, clear direct straight speed.
okay.
American 596.
Good evening, Delta. 1635, climb out of 10 for Buffalo 230.
1635, center road there.
United 8116, 10.4 for 23.
United 8116, center road, good evening. United 8116, climbing, developable speed 90.
All right, so we're above 11 at Provy, and the fuel is 9393. We're at 13.7. So, now Sophie, we need to be below 10.
1635, good evening.
United 8116, clear direct on.
Directly to Hog, United 8116.
And then gosh is 6. We're getting there.
Holiday 08, restricted airspace is closed, hold, clear direct, Imperial County Airport.
I think I may have to take a look at CHSI. Maybe that needs an update.
Center Delta 20.
That's good right there, actually.
21,000, flight level 230.
Okay, 692 up in air, climbing, maintain, flight level 310.
Another 692, flight
220.
310.
United 8116, climbing, maintain, flight level 310.
Flight maintain 310, thanks very much. United 8116.
And Winnie's going to be 4, so we got to make sure we make that. And how about we get those wipers going again? Eventually I'll get them hooked up. Eventually they'll be hooked up to switches. I gotta get them wired up into here. And that's 10.
Delta 692, clear direct Bravo, Zulu Alpha.
Definitely blew that speed constraint. 210 at 6, and we go down to 4 at Winnie. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with the with this setup. I should see if it's doing it in the 3D panel as well. That's 2 rides now. Just seems to be getting way mixed up. Nope, still. And Naboo is 3. And I believe we're holding at 3. We are. Oh yeah, a long time ago. Sully? Oh yeah. That was a good movie. And he was right too. He says you have an amazing career and all they're going to remember is that last flight. Let's see, can you handle it now? See if he can take us the rest of the way in here.
American 596 out of 260 for 240. 12000 for American 596.
And we got 4 right coming in here. This is all done already though. 2, 110.3, 110.3, 035, 035. I'm on terrain and touchdown zone 18 feet. We are looking good. Gosh at 6,000. Winnie at 4, and we should be good by then.
Delta 1635, contact center 133.2, good day.
33.2, Delta 1635, good day.
See if it picks it up now, if I'm going to have to intervene here.
United 8116, clear direct Hog.
Directly to Hog, United 8116. Forward to 300. Johnson 3854, Roger.
And on the way out, we're looking at 030 on the way out. All right, she's taking us down. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's start slowing down, shall we?
Okay, 692 up in air, maintain a flight level 310.
Delta 692, common flight level 310.
United 8116.
I think that would be pretty cool. I'm amazed that it's a private individual doing it, not some government entity. That's what amazes me. Here's the outer marker. Are they on here? Oh, I'm surprised I don't hear it. All right, let's go 5. Localizer.
Southwest 919 up in air, Roger, direct 16 from 60 at maintain 22,000, 28 altimeter 3001.
Direct 6,
And we get on that chart at Naboo. So within the next 5 miles, we should be popping up on that.
Delta 692, direct bar, Bravo Zulu Alpha.
Yeah, hey, you gotta have that cash if you're gonna start building rockets to Mars, right?
Southwest 3628, 300 to cross.
1,000 to go.
Give me 10.
Hey, Bureau Captain 1, Southwest 3628, Senator Rodriguez, Constant, on my other 60 edge, your company at Southwest 6448.
Okay. Southwest 3961 out of...
And that's an hour and a half from the runway out at Myrtle Beach.
Southwest 3961, Senator Rodriguez.
And we've got 10 miles to go.
Step here, the 121 arrival, step to 12000. And slightly 250, Southwest 3962.
Not a bad view. Hopefully it won't be a washout. Should hold at 3 here.
2,500.
Nicely done.
.com 3152, cross the goal at flight level 250.
We're on that chart now.
Lot 3, descend and maintain flight level 240.
Get down. Got the airport and the runways. 15. Give me that. We're going to slow right on down the landing speed. 25. And 30. Lights, engine start selectors, auto brake, landing gear, speed brake, flaps, and they have been notified. Everything all right? Got an 8-knot crosswind. My bird. I got control.
FedEx 3713, it's going to maintain level 240.
Descend, maintain 240, FedEx 3713.
It's amazing. We got a 7-knot crosswind, and it doesn't feel that bad. There are other times I'm in a 7-knot crosswind, 10-knot crosswind. It feels like we're being thrown around like a Cessna.
1,000.
Skywest 4016, contact center 133.2.
332, have a great night. Coach 46.
And 661, be advised, but we'll have a reroute for you here in a couple minutes. Be ready to copy. Airswell 5896, maintain 300 knots per beta, you're number 1.
That's right at 500. 400. 300.
I don't know where that guy's going.
200. Minimum.
Landing.
100.
58 for veering delay
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Welcome to Boston. Yeah, I didn't think we were going to make that.
80 knots.
Let's roll on down to the end.
And United 661, ready?
Board ready, sir. What do you got for me?
Alright, United 661, your third direct rate, Delta Romeo Kilo, then direct full Roger, India Romeo Whiskey, join J98 Springfield with your Spear Golf Foxtrot, join J105 Wells, Whiskey, Echo, Lima, Tango, Sierra, for the 44 Pearl 5 arrival to Chicago.
Okay, you got to stand by. What's the
That was a pretty cool ride.
And
And that's an hour and 35 minutes. Runway to runway. I can stay on.
FedEx 3713, what's your indicated airspeed?
FedEx 3713,
FedEx 3713, increase speed to 280.
FedEx 3713.
And we have, what's our parking space? B37.
Don't exceed 280 knots, allows for like 42.
Air Shuttle 5896, clear direct flight.
Direct line.
And we'll come all the way across.
American 1476, flying 18, final 290, to be final today.
290, American 1476.
1 and speed 4768, contact center 133.2.
33.2, 478.
And we're up.
Delta 26.
Give me a minute on the clock.
133.2.
33.2, good night, Delta 26.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
FedEx 3713, contact center 128.6.
128.6, FedEx 3713.
I hope Southwest is taxiing in. Yeah, it looks like he's moving.
American 1476, clear direct flight, increase speed of 300. Direct flight.
Hope no one's in our spot.
Hello, Center American.
Looks pretty busy here at Boston.
American 899, center Roger.
Oh, someone just come in right behind us. And someone's going around.
Alaska 1142, contact center 128.6.
128.6, Alaska 1142.
And that's a minute.
American 2471, contact LA center 128.15.
And what do we have here? Exterior lights as needed. APU start. Yep, that's up and running. Yaw dampers off. Window heat switches as needed. They're off. Probe heat switches are off. Engine wing and the ice is off. Engine start selectors as needed. They are off. Auto brake is off. Speed brake is down. Flaps are up. Transponders TA auto and weather radar to test. And what I say, we have B37, yes. Saw an aircraft coming this way.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
5896, cross full, want to maintain final 250, maintain the 300 knots greater and close by.
Echo Skull 250 and 300 greater.
Southwest 1095, contact center 135.15.
No, 35 is the center, that's it.
And that's an hour 49 minutes from the gate.
Delta 2147, center Roger.
And they're showing 155. So right now, I'm 6 minutes early.
128.6,
Oh, we're not at the gate yet. And once again,
American 10, first American 14 at 76, cross full at a maintain audible 250, maintain a 300 knots. Cross full,
Okay, cabin is secure. Have a good flight.
You got a 661, you able to do that reroute?
Alright, 661, here we go. It's going to be direct to Delta Romeo Kilo, India Romeo Whiskey, J98 Sierra Golf Fox, J105 Wells for the Turtle 5. United 661, we're good.
United 661, you got it. Thank you for your help.
a little bit of flicker going on there.
American 2431 with you 28 for 290.
American 2431, center roger.
I think someone's in our spot. We should be in that corner there. Gonna have to make a move.
American 2431, I didn't know that.
We're good there and there.
United 661, thanks again for your help. Contact center 133.2.
Yeah, 33, 39, 661.
Oh, that spot's open.
Center, Southwest 2049, 370. Southwest 2049, center roger.
That spot's open.
American 899, reduced gauge and IQ.
I know it's showing C over here, but on the chart it shows B.
Southwest 2580, 60 cent via the Disney for arrival. It says via the Disney for, Southwest 2586. And Southwest 2586, maintain 300 knots or greater. 300 knots or greater, Southwest 2586.
Wisconsin 4806, cross Walter, flight level 200, maintain 300 knots.
300 speed, cross Walter at flight level 200, Wisconsin 4806.
Center, you did get 2049, taking on 370. And Southwest 2049, I got you, expect a little bit.
Alrighty. Welcome to Boston.
Southwest 2586, contact center 1.
Have ground services here.
2635, Southwest 2586, yeah. Hello, Southwest 2584.
Chocks are in place. Ground power's available. And ground air. And you. And we're going to shut down completely because that's going to be the last run of the day. But electrical power on ground. APU bleed. We're on unconditioned air. Fuel levers to cut off. And oops. Any collision light is off. Fuel pump switches are off. Electrical panel check set. Galley power is off. Window heat switches are off. Hydraulic pumps are off. Exterior lights as needed. We got a logo in position. Flight director switches are off. Chocks in position. Parking brake is off. IRS select is to off. Emergency exit light is off. Exterior lights. Bleed air panel. Where are we here? Bleed air panel. Engine start select is to both. APU or ground disconnect. We'll disconnect ground. And DC-AC select is to standby. And DC battery switch off. And that's a wrap. Alright, everybody that joined me today. I hope you enjoyed the ride. Fort Dust. Who else was here? RO. I think Tom was here as well. For those of you that joined me today, I hope you enjoyed the ride. I always enjoy the company. And the 3D rain edit I uploaded to xplane.to. It's still pending approval, but it should be online soon enough. So if you fly a flight deck like I do and use hardware, you'll be able to get this nice looking 3D rain effect. And, well, my flow chart, there's a link there for that as well as my night lighting. And that should be stopped, actually. 154, probably 153, 152. So we're about 3 minutes early. But I did kick it up a notch when we were at cruise, so. All right, everybody, take care. I'll catch you on my next run, everybody. And I appreciate it. Hey, thanks for Dustin. I'll catch you on my next run. Thanks for joining me, man.